Hello there and welcome to this video about how we can set up the TicTacToe project on your computer for the compulsory number 2. So if we go to Moodle to compulsory assignment 2, TicTacToe, we can see there are some explanations to this, and if we scroll down we can find some files you can download. There is a report template. There's also a TicTacToe starter zip file. And let's see if we can get this project up and running in IntelliJ. So let's click on the zip file and I'm going to download it. Just save it in the downloads folder. Yeah, I see I've done this already. So let's just open it up in the Explorer or Finder, and then we're going to unzip it, and you can do this both on Mac OS and Windows and also Linux. So you should have a project like this when you unzip the file, and we can see and there are several files and directories in it. But let's see. Let's go to IntelliJ to see if we can get this opened up. So let's just take open. Select that. Go to downloads and take TicTacToe starter and choose open. Then IntelliJ will, we might say there is some version control. Might not appear on your computer. But let's see here. If we open the project here, we can see that we have an IntelliJ project, and we have some different directories and some files. As it says on Moodle up here, it is a starter IntelliJ project with JavaFX and Maven. And it also includes some tests, and this is very optional for the GameBot class, but we will come back to this. Okay, so first off, we can see that we can try to run it. First off, we have a source folder in the project and some Java files. We also have resources with some views and CSS, but let's first see if we can actually run the program. We also have BLL and GUI. I'm going to come back to this in a minute. And if we open up the GUI, we can see we got a controller package. We also have the TicTacToe. And the TicTacToe class is what holds the main methods. So this will start the program and launch the view. So what we could do, we can try to right click and hit run to see if it works. And the program opens up. So that is all good. I'm just going to close it again. And if for some reason it does not work, you can always, it's always a good idea to go to project structure, in file, project structure, and then inspect if it is set up correctly. So we can see the name, we can see the SDK, Liberica full, 23, the language level is set for SDK default, so that should be okay. And there are some modules, because it's a Maven project, that is set up already. We don't need to modify that. And yes, we can see the SDK, we have this. And this might vary, might be different on your computer. So you might need to set the SDK for Liberica full so that we have JavaFX included in it. Yes. It might also be, maybe it says current file up here. Right now it says TicTacToe. It depends on the configuration. Right now I have TicTacToe because I ran this file, the main file. if I remove, let me just allow me to do this. It might say current file, and then it is a good idea to just find the TicTacToe main method file and right click it and say run. This will create a configuration in IntelliJ automatically so that you can start the program wherever you are in the project. Okay, so but let's have a look at how the architecture of this application is. So I've made this small illustration here that might make it a little bit easier to understand the architecture of the project, because TicTacToe is structured the way that we are using the three-layered architecture, or parts of it. We have a presentation layer, we have some business logic layer, and this is why there is a package in the project called GUI and a package called BLL. So if we go back, we can see in the Java files we have BLL for business logic layer and GUI also with a controller. Okay. So the reason why we do this is that we want to separate concerns. We want to apply this single responsibility principle so that we separate concerns so that it is easier to change the project, to manage it, to extend it, generally to work with it, and ultimately to lower coupling. So, and we don't have the data access layer, it will come in later projects, so it's only actually a two-layered architecture, because we don't have any data or databases or files like that. But we can see that in the GUI layer, we have something called view. This is the FXML files, and we also have controllers that talk to the view and work with the view. And then we have a user that might interact with the application. So this, the green part here, is what we call normally MVC, Model View Controller, but we don't have a model in this project, so it's only the view and controller. Then in the business logic layer, we have something called iGameBoard and GameBoard, and we can go in here and we can see BLL. You can see we got the game board, we have the iGameBoard, and you can also see the other files in the GUI layer here. So GameBoard and iGameBoard, two files, and it says iGameBoard, so this is an interface when you open it up, iGameBoard. And an interface, basically you should think of this as a contract, something that works with the presentation layer, with the GUI layer, and sits between the GUI layer and the game board actually. And it is a way for us to, again, lower coupling, to enables us to change easily the game board as long as we don't change the interface. And we can see the game board implements the iGameBoard interface. And if we go to, we have the interface here, we have the game board, and we can see the game board implements the interface. Okay, so the interface is basically just a specification of different methods that we use to handle the TicTacToe game. So we can see we have get next player, returns 0 for player 0, or 1 for 1. We have a method called play that will, there is a description to these method definitions here, and it's game over, get winner, new game, and so on and so forth. And these are the methods that the GUI layer will work with. The game board that implements the interface, you can see if you look into it, it is not really implemented. It's just say return 0 every time, implement this method. The play is not implemented, it just returns true. And you need to implement this class here, the game board, so that, for instance, when you run the play methods, it will try to see if you can actually play this move in this column and this row, and if the move is accepted, return true, otherwise false. If the game over is true, meaning that if the game is over, we should also return false. So you need to implement this method and the other methods. Is game over, get winner, that will return the ID of the winner, or -1 if it's a draw, and new game. So you can do anything with this class. You can modify it the way you need. But there is one important thing that you must remember. You cannot change the interface. So this is not allowed to change the interface, and the reason for that is because this is the connection between the GUI. Let's see if I can find it again here. This is the connection between the GUI that the user interacts to and the game board. So it's very important that we don't change the interface. It is kind of a contract, you could say, that this is a game board and the GUI knows that this will not change. Then we can change the game board behind it if we want to. Let's say we wanted to apply some different rules, make some special rules. In TicTacToe, we could change. We could make an extra game board with some extra rules, other rules for TicTacToe, and we could do this, but still fulfill the contract by having these methods, and the game would work. We would not need to make some major changes in the GUI. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So this is the architecture of the game. So right now. So the assignment is that you implement the game board to make a functional game. And you can see right now, if you run the game, it says play at 0. We can click and it will just put crosses all over it. So no real functionality is implemented. We can do a new game that's going to reset it. But yeah. Okay. If we look into the controller of the game, we have a controller called TicTacView controller. And it has some different UI controls. It has a label, it has a button, a grid pane, and it has this connection, a game manager or a game object that is of the type iGameBoard. So this is the interface. And then we have an event handler called handle button action that will try to get the button that you have clicked. When we click into the game, it's going to see on the event what is the source, what button is it. It's going to try to find the row and the column, and if the row is null, it's going to set it for 0. Otherwise, it's going to set the row as that, and likewise with the column. So it will try to find the button that you have clicked in the grid. And then it will talk to the game manager. The game board will find the next player. And the next player is just, if we go into the game board right now, we can see get next player, return 0 every time right now. and then it will try to play this move with this column, this row, and if that is possible, it's going to check if the game is over, and if the game is over, it will find the winner, which is also a method from the game board that will return the ID of the winner, and it will display the winner, which is just a message to I think it's a method down here, display winner. It's a draw, player with this ID wins. And if it's not over, if the game is not over, it's going to do the else clause down here and will allow you to put a cross or an O depending on the ID. Okay, so we have some basic functionality that will allow you to click in the UI right now, but it will not work out of the box because it has not been implemented, the functions in here or the methods. Yes. What else is there to say? You can find something in the resources also, a CSS file with some basic styling. There's a background image and some settings regarding that. And you're allowed, of course, to change this, to tweak it, to make an awesome game there. The image background is here, and you can find the TicTacToe FXML file. And one important thing also is that when you, if you look into the FXML file, you can see that it has been coupled, connected with a controller, the TicTacToe controller that we was in just before. Yes. So yeah, I think this is more or less it. Hope you can make this work and create an awesome game. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.